I did not see this coming. Did you? Because I sure didn't. This was not on my bingo card for this year. A lot of this was not. And we'll jump into it in just a second. I want to give all the live viewers just a second to come on over. Come on over. The water's fine. Happy summertime. But for those of you who are watching delayed, maybe you're clicking on this as a YouTube video in your feed, I'm going to put timestamps in the description so you can pop around to the stuff that you want to hear about. I got you. I know the drill. Sometimes you have certain things you want to know about, and we will get there. I do assure you of that. But welcome, everybody. I see the chat here. It looks like Streamlabs has changed up my my end of the streams a little bit, which is very exciting and very cool. I'm going to pull y'all up, actually, on YouTube real quick. To see kind of the live viewership count. Now, normally I schedule these out a little bit, but, like, just given my schedule of late, I'm like, sometimes I just gotta jump in, hit the ground running, and go for these streams. Although I know it's a bit inconvenient. So thanks for rolling with me, everyone. We have about 25 folks in so far, so very exciting stuff. Very cool. I'm sure more people will click on this video later. I know it's at an odd time. 2 o'clock on a Sunday. Little bizarre. But, c'est la vie. We're going to go into it. So, what are we talking about today? Kind of a lot. So, I was mentioning just a second ago, this wasn't on my bingo card. What wasn't on my bingo card? So, I'm going to explain my thought process real quick, and I hope no retailers take offense to what I'm going to say, but it's just the truth for me. And the truth of the matter is, going into 2025 with the Halloween merch and the animatronics and all that fun stuff, the decor, knowing that Party City is now gone, I guess the two leads of the industry at the moment for the amateur Halloween decorating world are Spirit and Home Depot. And they kind of have been going back and forth a little bit. Lowe's has not fully won me over yet, as it stands. That's not because I don't have some partnership or whatever with them. It's just the simple fact of there have been a few cool items that I really liked. I thought when they did their whole nautical line, and they had the scuba guy, and they had a few other really cool pieces that, like, that fisherman with the hook, very impressive stuff. I thought that was very nice. But on the whole, I've not been won over to Lowe's yet. They are not in competition, in my opinion, with the level that Spirit and Home Depot have been on. And that goes for any other store. Now, I have exceptions. For instance, sorry, that was Alexa giving me a weather alert that it might storm out here, which just sets the spooky vibe so nice, you know what I mean? Anywho, also thanks for the compliment about the Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. I am not Jeff Dahmer, but that time period had some sick shades. I digress. Point being is that there are exceptions to the rule of retail stores that I like. For instance, Michael's, I think, is the champ as of right now with the home decor and the Lemax stuff. I think in terms of the home decor and Lemax pieces, Michael's has me covered. I'm good with them. I'm tight with Michael's. You know what I'm saying? We go back. I've jumped off the bandwagon of the pharmacy stores. So CVS, Walgreens, I'm looking at you. You're on my hit list. Stop with the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. I don't want it anymore. I don't really care about the home goods places. Walmart is hit and miss. Target is a rising star for me. They have a lot of cute stuff. They've always had cute stuff. I remember the Domo stuff and the Skella animals of yesteryear. So to get some kind of quiche items from them is nice to see. That's kind of what they're known for, but I wouldn't put them on a serious level like the other ones. And then, not on my bingo card for 2025 at all, lo and behold, HalloweenCostumes.com drops 2 waves. That went hard. Did you hear that thunder? I promise that was not my stomach. Lo and behold, HalloweenCostumes.com drops a banger lineup. I mean, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I got stuff I gotta say. But I am going to start with Spirit, because Spirit has been the long-running MVP. And here's my thoughts on Spirit, because I've gotten many comments from people asking, what do you think about the Spirit stuff for this year, hauntformer? And I have a lot of thoughts on it. I have many different thoughts on Spirit. Now, we haven't seen everything yet. And what I mean by that is we haven't seen everything yet Spirit legally. There have been some leaks floating around. I will not confirm nor deny whether I've seen them or not. But suffice it to say, I'm just going to be talking about the stuff that is confirmed on their website for today. Not going to be talking about, we kind of talked about the theme with the subway station and whatnot. Which I think is cool. I like the subway theme. The themes, to me, have kind of lost their impact, in my estimation, because the themes used to be an indicator of the items in the theme. For instance, the reason I loved the Zombie Wasteland theme is because there were Zombie Wasteland zombies in the Zombie Wasteland. You see what I'm saying? So when they dropped a boat a few years back and had a dragon and Hugs the Clown on it, I went, what the heck? And I said, okay, clearly the themes have changed now. They're just settings. They're just backdrops. No longer do they fully indicate what we're going to get. So a subway theme may not necessarily mean subway props. Although they have leaned into it a little bit. And we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about HalloweenCostumes.com. Home Depot is a brewing. I think Home Depot will show their hand soon. And then we'll be able to kind of assess all of the animatronics and maybe even do a giant tier list. How do you all feel about that? A giant tier list of all the props. All the animatronics for 2025. Very exciting stuff. Because let's be real, after Home Depot plays their hand, that's kind of all we're going to get for the year. Okay? There's no nefarious Home Goods pulling out something out of their butt. It's not going to happen. So this is just going to be the legit cool animatronics. We're going to start with Spirit. My overall thoughts as a whole when it comes to Spirit for 2025 is I'm underwhelmed. Bottom line, I'm underwhelmed. And I'll tell you why. It doesn't even have to do with any one thing in particular, although I do have some detail criticisms that I'll hop into. But my overall thing of just, I look at the HalloweenCostumes.com lineup now. I look at the Home Depot lineup, and I look at Spirits. And I go, one of these feels like tread waters, whereas the others feel like they're taking some kind of risk. There's something different here. For better or for worse. Like, for example, Home Depot's making a frickin' shark, okay? Now, you could debate me on if a shark is a cool Halloween prop. I'd argue it is. But you could have your opinion where, I don't really care. I'm not going to use a shark. And honestly, I probably won't get the shark, being real. I don't really need it. However, as a consumer, seeing such a diversity of the products is awesome to me. And the Spirit stuff just kind of feels stagnant. Feels like I've seen it before. And it feels like Clown City. And, well, we know how I feel about that. So let's start with the spirit stuff, because there are some cool things. There are some things I have a lot of praise for. And we're going to talk about that right now. So let's switch over to spirit. You can join me if you'd like on your personal device. Now arriving at Madison Scare Park, we are going to shop for the new animatronics. And it looks like on here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on here. But 2 of them are kind of ones we've seen before. Electrified Corpse is the same old guy, as is Silent and Deadly Clown. Now, the good news is, I love both of these animatronics a lot. I think Silent and Deadly has always been a phenomenal clown. Very creepy. And Electrified Corpse has easily been probably the most effective jump scare prop for me. I've used it for, I don't know, ever since I did my Abandon haunt with Smiley World. I don't remember how many years ago that was, 2016? It's almost been 10 years I've had it. He finally started farting out for me last year, because he was out in the open. But man, this thing has always freaked me out. Electrified Corpse is such a reliable prop, and I heard through the grapevine and through some of the reviews that this one is even better than the previous model. So that's awesome. I couldn't praise Electrified Corpse any higher. And for $150 for that thing, it's a very reasonable price for 2025. Let's jump into the first prop, though, that's new. And a big one, and a big release. It is Valak The Nun from the Conjuring series. Now, I'll just start on the surface level of the simple fact that I don't really care about the Conjuring verse. I like the second Annabelle movie. I believe it's Annabelle Creation. I thought the third Annabelle movie was like stupid fun. And I remember liking The Conjuring 2, and when I rewatched it, I found a lot of it kind of boring. Overall, it's not like horrible, not the worst series ever, but it's just very mid, and I feel like it's very overhyped. The Nun is a character. I forgot the name of the actress that plays her, but she is a very creepy character, and I'm not surprised that we got a prop, although Morbid made one back in the day. Not that that's saying too much, because we know what happened to Morbid in their late years. Rest in peace. But we do have this one, who on the surface looks very good. Looks very good. Looks like Valak. She has a praying pose and got a very creepy face. She is $299, so she's $300. And you'll notice she has a very interesting apparatus. Let's play the video. Okay. Let's get that jump scare again. Alright, so it's kind of edited in the video. It's a little bit of camera trickery there. It's a little sneaky. Because I've seen videos of people who've bought it, and just in my estimation, the jump scare is a little underwhelming in person by the looks of these videos. Here's my overall opinion. This isn't even specifically for Valak here, but an opinion that I have and I share with a few other people is that the licensed characters are really, in my estimation anyway, as a fan of the licensed props. I have the Creep behind me, and I have Reagan over here, and I have Chucky, and I have the Trick or Treat Studios Billy. These are display props. These are props that are for a collection, for decor in your home. And a jump scare prop is really specifically for a haunted display, haunted house, what have you. At least to me. I could be wrong about that. You may have a differing opinion. An exception to that rule might look something like Sitting Scarecrow, where you put him on your porch. I guess you could put Valak on your porch. But to me, my point in saying that is that a jump scare license prop is almost redundant. It doesn't need to do all that. It just needs to look the part. Luckily, Valak does. But my question is that worth $300 to you? And in my opinion, no, it's not. But I also don't care that much about The Conjuring. If you do, this is a pretty cool looking Valak. The jump scare is not my favorite thing in the world. I like that the hands kind of pray. She looks very good, if that's your thing. I wish all of these jump scare animatronics that are also licensed had a B mode that would just kind of have the eyes light up or something, so you could still have it active in some way, or maybe she could like whisper a prayer or something. And if you were going to really do a jump scare with the Valak the Nun, in my opinion, you get the painting of the nun and have her bust out of the painting or something to that effect. Because to me, that was the scariest scene in maybe the entire Conjuring series, is the painting coming alive and her pushing out. That was a very effective scene, I thought. But that is Valak, who has gotten a lot of buzz at the moment, and I gotta say she looks quite good. But I'm a little underwhelmed with the animation, and I suppose if it was a character I really was rooting to have, then I would probably just go for it, but you feel me? Yeah, you do. Up next is one that I have flip-flopped around with my opinion on. This is Backbend Bonnie. Not to be confused with Broken Spine Girl, although she is coming back to HalloweenCostumes.com, and we're going to get back into that in a bit. Backbend Bonnie, first of all, the first thing you're going to notice really, really quickly is this price tag, which I think is excellent. I've complained about Spirit's pricing in the past, and some of it isn't great this year, and I have pricing problems with the Halloween costume stuff. But by and large, this is a very reasonable price for this character. This is a chick who, if you couldn't tell, bends backwards. Now, when I saw these pictures, I admittedly thought it was going to be a fast snapback, but I actually like this animation because, for one, it's different, and two, it's not going to break after 4 uses. So let's go ahead and get the video. Pretty creepy, pretty effective. I like the the spine crackling sounds. I do wish, this is just my own personal taste, I do wish the face was a little different. It just kind of is like basic 2014 techie girl. It's not bad. It's not bad, and the animation really kind of helps. But I don't know. I feel like I've said this before, and you can debate me on this, but I really think just having a blank stare would have been a little more creepy to me. With no vocal noises required, just like a staring face with a like an emotionless expression, just kind of. I think would have been cool, but that's me. That's I like that. But Techie Girl is fine for what it is, and I think it's very fine for the price. This picture makes it look a lot better than I've seen in videos of people who have gotten it so far. I also do like the outfit. Overall, I do like this one, and I think, quite honestly, this is the best thing from Spirit this year so far. Sue me. I do. I do think it's the best. Yeah, and she doesn't have any talking, which is a praise. So that is Backbend Bonnie. Now we have Sinister Straw Man, which sounds like the most generic Scarecrow name in the world. To be honest, I really haven't looked too deeply at this guy, for the simple fact of it's a Mr. Dark reskin. And what's sad is, I went to Flagship when Mr. Dark was first premiered, and we had no idea what it was. And when that thing popped up, I think we were all kind of taken aback. Like, whoa, what is this? It's really cool. It's a great animation. Mr. Dark was a very simplistic character, though. The face was kind of whatever, and it looked like a garbage bag, but it was still cool. So they've upgraded it. You know, they started, you know, I thought the demon one was really cool. Well, I wasn't crazy about the witch. Thing is, it's kind of lost its surprise at this point. It's another Mr. Dark. This one's a Scarecrow version, which it looks fine. And I think it depends on your theme. Really, this is just kind of capturing all the different aesthetics that you would need. Let's get that video going.
You're trespassing on hallowed ground. Not everyone who does gets to live to tell about it.
I don't really need all that. I think just a Scarecrow jumping up would have been fine. You know how my thoughts about the are, but there's also a spooky decoration for your front lawn, so I get it. It's cool. It's $3.30. It's just not my favorite of the Mr. Dark reskins, and I'm waiting for them to really give us a good one that I would go, that's the definitive one. As of right now, it's probably the demon one we got, whatever that was called. I can't remember, Hellspawn or whatever. That's probably my favorite at this point. I'm still holding out hope for something. We'll see. I don't know what that'll look like, but that's the Sinister Straw Man, not to be confused with every other Scarecrow. Okay, let's move on to a controversial one. Very controversial. Monkey Business. Now, when I heard the name Monkey Business, I got hyped. Because I thought, ooh, a monkey prop. Monkeys... Okay, my thing is, monkeys really freak me out. Monkeys are the scariest animals to me. They have opposable thumbs, and that says a lot. They're just freaky. There was that phone call with that woman and the chimp, and I'm not going to go into it. I already saw Nope, and it freaked me out enough, but monkeys are scary. And I like a lot of monkey-themed horror movies. But Monkey Business, part of me thought it could have been a scientist in a lab coat holding a cage with a monkey in it, which would have been cool to me, more than a clown. But something told me Monkey Business sounded silly. And I thought it might have been some kind of... It could have been like a monkey coming out of a birthday cake. You know, I've seen that kind of gag before or something. But no, it's a clown. Now, to give credit where credit is due here, I think the clown looks pretty good. I think it's a good-looking clown. I like the color scheme on it. It's holding a box, and there's this monkey that pops out of the box. The monkey looks fine to me. I don't really have a problem with the monkey. Let's get a video.
No more clowning around. It's time for monkey business.
Okay, so to me, I don't like that the monkey has light up eyes. Yeah, you could unplug them, but I still don't like it. I also don't like the phrase, that particular one. It's just kind of cringe. It reminds me of when Lemax pieces have to say what they are, even though they might have named it after the phrase, but suffice it to say, I don't like the phrase. I like that it's tall. I do like that. I do think it's overpriced. It has a single mouth movement, and it has the pop-up animation, and it's $3.30, which is very high for me. I also take into account that it may not look like this when you get it. But, I mean, people who have gotten it can probably verify that. To me, this one is not making me rush out, but I think if you are a clown fan and you want something a little more unique, you could do worse. You could do worse than Monkey Business. To me, I'm just not in love with it. Maybe when I see it in person, I'll be won over. But I have such clown fatigue at this point that it's going to take a lot for me to come over to the dark side. So, There you go. There you go. That's monkey business. We are halfway done with the new ones. Up next. Ho! Twisted Grandma. Okay, so on paper, this would be one of my favorite ones. A creepy lady who's twisting and converting around, and Miss Mercy is in my head when I think of that stuff. What is this? What is this CVS looking lady doing at Spirit for $230? Like, seriously. It even has the puppet looking mouth. Spirit, what's going on? Now, I'm no designer, but, well, I'm going to let the video speak for itself.
Do you hear that sound? That's the grinding of my bones coming to tuck you in while you're sleeping. Sweet scream!
See, again, the idea is cool. Like, her head spinning backwards and then her body twisting is creepy. But the jump scare is lame. And, it just looks cheap. I can't really say it. It's a good idea with a weak execution. That's Twisted Grandma to me. Now, maybe in person I'll change my mind. But as of right now, yeah, it looks like Slappy the Dummy. I'm not feeling it. Maybe if it spun its body around slowly, that would have helped. And if they changed the face a bit. Again, it needs to shut up, too. Please make these props zip it. Like, or do like a Miss Mercy where it just kind of makes a noise. If the face looked really creepy and it spun like, and then the body was like, you know what I'm saying? But no, it's got a yap about some stupid crap, about your candy corn or whatever. I don't care. Again, this is me talking. I'm not necessarily in the market for cutesy stuff to put on my porch. So I try to keep that in consideration, but also when it has a jump scare and it's trying to be scary, I assess it like something I would use in a haunt. And to me, it just kind of falls flat. Logan the Simple Clown says Granny's pretty decent in person. I'll have to take your word for it, my friend. I guess I will see it in person, but that's good to know if that's true. I think the jump scare does make her more different from Bonnie since they both got back problems. That's true. Next year we need a chiropractor prop to help the other ones out. Don't actually do that, Spirit. Actually do. And he's got a spine. He pulls his spine out. It's too edgy. They won't do it. Imagine, though, a guy, lifts a spine from out of his back, and then he falls over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he drops. Like, after he's like, ah! And he drops. And his spine is wiggling around, and it's all bloody. Mac props. I digress. Let's get back into it. Two-Faced Teddy. Despite what we thought, not a Teddy. Not a Teddy at all. Probably a Theodore, though. It's a black and orange, so it's very Halloween-y clown with the same face as, what's his face? That one that spun around. I can't remember his name. But this is what he does. So, I honestly, I don't mind the faces. I don't think that it looks terrible. It's a spooky colored clown. It's a budget prop too. Like, it's $130. That's a fair price. I like that. It has a simple animation. To me, it's just like, okay. Like, I saw it, and I'm like, okay, so it exists. It's not really terrible. It's not really good. It's just there. Again, and I'm not trying to, like, compare apples to oranges, but I am a little bit, in the sense of when our friend Home Depot over here is dropping a shark and a snowman and all this crazy stuff, and we get a clown that spins its head around. Spirit's been at this game way longer, and this is it. This is the pinnacle. Is Two-Faced Teddy. I'm being hyperbolic, of course, but my point still stands that I'm underwhelmed. I'm underwhelmed. Okay, here's one that, in theory, would be my favorite, and we're going to talk about that. This is Mutant Sewer Rat. So I saw the pictures and I heard about this thing. I'm like, oh, awesome. Totally my vibe. I love the sewer stuff. I like the mutated creatures and the bugs and the little monsters. It's awesome. I'm going to play the video for you. It's really not a terrible animation. It's when you start kind of looking at it a little bit, and then you realize that it's 4 feet tall. I thought this thing was going to be like Deathstalker, like this giant rat, like a huge beast. It's 4 feet tall. It's like a child, like I could kick it. I wouldn't kick a child, but if I did, I'd kick this one. It also, just looking at the detail, it's a little lackluster for me. Like, it's all basically one color. The whole thing is just this kind of washed out green, which is not the worst thing in the world. I'm obviously a green fan. But you see what I mean, sorta? It's kind of like a interesting head on a creepy cloth body, and it's only 4 feet tall. Like, again, something in theory that would be awesome to me. And it's just kind of like, we got that one from Morris a few years ago, and it feels like the same thing, except shorter. And I mean, the pose is neat. I don't know. Like, this is one that in theory I should really like. And I just am going, okay. If I saw it in person, maybe I would change my mind. And I know some may say, well, the reason it's small is because it's a rat. It's a mutant rat, though. And so if we're going the direction of it's a rat that just got big, then why isn't it on all fours? Why isn't it like the one we got from Distortions? That is a mutated rat that is slightly bigger than a normal rat. This, to me, should be larger than life. This should be a giant like, I would have been fine if it was like $300 and just really, really big. You could put it on something, I guess. I don't know. To me, it's basically, it's similar to the Morris one, and that's not necessarily high praise. It's just, it's there again. And last but certainly least, is the 6-foot, what the frick is this, night owl animatronic piece of at-home Hobby Lobby crazy bones. What is this? What is this? Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, it's small. Second of all, it looks like this. Remember there's a shark at Home Depot. I'm sorry, but I have to put a timeout, and I have to say, we all have our biases, but if this was the same thing for $250 at the at-home store, no one would bat an eye and everyone would think it's stupid, but somehow it gets praise and purchased because it's at Spirit. And I have to call it what it is. It's junk. It's stupid. I don't like it at all. And what's really upsetting is that when I heard the name Night Owl, I went, ooh, an owl. Like, it could be an owl, a beast owl, a giant owl would be really spooky. Owls are great critters. I love owls for Halloween. I think they're very spooky. They're nighttime creatures. Their head spins. There's so much potential with an owl, a bird of prey. And then we get this, and it makes me lose my faith. Because what is this? It doesn't even look really like an owl. It looks like a vulture with like a slightly messed up face. Yeah, no. Nah. And the thing is, you might be going, oh, you're being too harsh, hauntformer. And I am a little bit, but the thing is, I grew up with Spirit. I started going to Spirit probably in 2005. I've gone for 20 years to this store. I really respect this company. I've met a lot of the people that work for Spirit. I've been to the flagship. I think they're a really neat business model. It's just a cool company. I've never been this invested in a retail store before in my life, and I probably never will be again. I guess my compliment is I expect a lot from Spirit. And when I get stuff that's just kind of mediocre, I'm going, what's going on? Because you're getting your butt kicked by a store that sells plywood. And HalloweenCostumes.com, which HalloweenCostumes.com is what we're about to talk about. Which, look, I'm not being a hater, because HalloweenCostumes.com is clearly stepping up their game. But a few years ago, they had a lot of stuff that I was like, that's not really that strong. That's not really that strong. It was a lot of Sunstar stuff. It was a lot of the Morris stuff that carried over from the Expo. And they really stepped up to the plate, and I really appreciate that. And Spirit is just kind of stagnating. I don't know if this is a tariff thing. I don't think it is, because this was all developed well before the tariff situation. I don't know what's to blame for this, but it feels extremely watered down, and it feels like stuff that somebody cherry-picked out of, like, 2015's lesser lineup. And I thank you for appreciating the honesty, because I only say my criticisms to make this stuff great. I want it to be awesome. I want to be excited about it. But I'm really not. Back Ben Bonnie, I'm excited to see in person, and that's kind of it. I think the Nun looks cool. I think the Clown, a few of these look cool, but not for the price and not for the animation. And I hope I eat my words and bite my tongue in the store and go, you know what? I was wrong, because I've done that before. I'm fine with it being wrong. But no, and I think just overly blasting praise about this is like accepting subpar product. The proof will be in the pudding with the purchases, okay? Look at the purchases for this year. Where's everyone gonna buy stuff from? I'll tell you in a minute some of the stuff I'm gonna buy, and as of right now, it's not any of this. This is the truth. That's just my thoughts. And if Spirit wants to really up their game, maybe there are things I'm not seeing and I'm going to be really impressed. Maybe one of these is going to really floor me in the store. Back Ben Bonnie has the potential. But it's just, I don't know, it kind of stagnated this year. But you know what? Here's the good news. Usually after Spirit has a year like this, they always recuperate, and the following year it's really solid. and I really appreciate that about their company and how they kind of course correct. But this is definitely a lower year on my totem pole. 2018 comes to mind, 2022 comes to mind, and now 2025 at the moment. But this is only some of it, so don't fully quote me on that. Don't get spirit coming in, breathing down my neck. But I have to be honest to my viewers, and this is just kind of okay. Yeah, kind of feels like Lowe's stuff. But the thing is, Lowe's has not reached a critical point yet where I go, man, Lowe's is doing great. I don't want them to backslide. Lowe's has not delivered those goods to me yet. The closest that I got to tasting what Lowe's could do was with the nautical stuff, and that was awesome. And they made a few other things, and I'm like, this is cool. Like the Haunted Mansion stuff. This year they have more Haunted Mansion stuff. The Wednesday was kind of goofy, but I respected what they were doing. But they still haven't won me over. Spirit, I've always been a Spirit fan. And I don't want to say my opinion, but that's it. That's it. Yeah. But I will give credit where credit is due. I think these prices are mostly a step in the right direction for at least a few of these items, and I hope they'll continue with the affordability and the affordable props. So, like, even a prop like Two-Faced Teddy, which I'm not crazy about, I like that it's an affordable option for some of the younger haunters out there, and that's a nice thing. That is a very nice thing. Okay, I'm done. I did it. Until they release the other stuff. For part 2, everyone. Now let's turn... let's go back to me for a second. And I'm going to get the HalloweenCostumes.com lineup. Also sometimes called Fun.com or whatever. Pulled up. Okay? Alright. So, like I said, I don't have a huge background with HalloweenCostumes.com. They're mostly a costume company, as the name would suggest. And then a few years ago, they started putting on some animatronics. Now, it was mostly Morris stuff. There were a few Sunstar things, and I was like, okay, this is like, it's kind of filler animatronic stuff. I didn't think they were taking it very seriously. I thought they were just, they had it was a Halloween website, so you put props on there. Some people will buy them with their costume. No problem. And now they do something I didn't expect, which is completely sweep for me. Completely sweep at least Spirit. Boom. Like, took them out. I was not imagining this at all. And I shout out to their creative team and their executives and whoever greenlit all of this stuff, because they're listening to the fans. They're listening to the fans. And all of this is very different and like a breath of fresh air to me. So let's jump into it. Now, I've already sort of talked about some of their stuff from their first wave. This is like wave 2. They started getting on my roster or in my sights when they dropped a Slimer prop last year, which I'm hoping to get my hands on. And I'm like, that's a pretty good looking Slimer. And I've been begging for the Ghostbusters stuff in stores. Nobody's doing it. And they did. And my big question right now, maybe the question on your mind too, and I don't honestly have an answer. I don't know if anyone who was invited to Halloween Costumes headquarters can answer this for me, but here's the question on my mind. Will Halloween Costumes ever go retail in person? Will they ever open up stores? Seems like a fair question. Will they pull a Halloween City? Will they pull a Halloween Express and bite the big bazooka and put this stuff in retail pop-ups? I don't have an answer. I don't know if that's in their plan business-wise. I know that's a big investment, but to me, they're on, with this lineup, they're on par with some of the other stores, retail-wise. And it's kind of sad that this is online-only stuff. But anyway, regardless of what they do about that, it would be a really cool idea, and I hope they consider that at least. Maybe they probably discussed it. Especially with the absence of Halloween City and Party City, they could sweep in, but I understand what people are saying in the comments. The price to do that, it's a big leap. It's a big leap. But let's talk about there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff, folks. Now, all this stuff I'm showing you right now is all stuff that we've seen before. For instance, this stuff that was from Big Lots last year. This giant Stay Puft, which is just insane. The werewolf from last year. A bunch of SVI products. The Jimmy Jason. The Lowe's big guys. And now we're going to talk about the new stuff. And I'm going to start in the obvious place, because as soon as this was released, I got 40 million people tagging me and emailing me and all of this, and this was not on my bingo sheet. I didn't think this would ever happen. And last of all, I thought it would be HalloweenCostumes.com, but they fulfilled my Little Mac dream of getting a full-sized Roswell alien. We did it. We did it. To everybody in the alien community, thank you. You did this too, because we just annoyed the snot out of them until they finally listened. And I am flabbergasted. I am flabbergasted that this exists. This is by far the most anticipated purchase for me for this year. Now, I will be a fair critic and take my blinders off, okay? And I'll actually assess the item. Because there are criticisms of this, just like anything. But we all have our biases, and you know me. And you know my love for this alien nonsense. And I'm just super excited about this. But this is a 4.5 foot tall Area 51 Roswell alien. Which some people may complain about the height, but that actually allegedly was how big the Roswell aliens were. So the size makes sense. You can see it compared to a person there. And that is the alien. Let's get a quick demo. Now, they put a video on Instagram which had, in my opinion, an even better audio than that. And that audio was fine. I love that you can't understand a word this bro is saying. I think it's jarbled and computery and just great. Just exactly what I love. I think the face looks very good. It looks like the... Gonna get nerdy for a second. It looks like the Zeta Reticuli or the Greys or the Little Green Men, the LGMs. This is the kind of classic alien. This is the alien. Now, what criticisms do I have? One, I think having a little more defined detailing in the paintwork would have been nice. Now, some of these like this picture looks cool, but they also lit it up very well. When you have kind of this very stark lighting, kind of see it's all kind of one color. To be fair, though, that is kind of the staple of the aliens, is that they are just kind of a flat color, hence grays or the greens. They are just kind of one color. I'm not crazy about seeing the seams of it. I don't know how else they would have pulled that off, but you can see where the arms move and the neck and also the legs. So I guess the obvious solution that they usually do is they cover it up with clothing, but I like that this doesn't have the clothes. I like that it's just a bare alien, which is great. I don't mind the light up eyes per se, because it also is sci-fi, but it would be cool just to have kind of the very blacked out eyes and unplug those. And finally, it is 230, which I'm okay with it because I'm an Alien fan, but I think for a casual fan that is steep, especially given the height and the limited animation. I really think 150 would have been a more reasonable price. So it is overpriced. But as an Alien fan, I think it's terrific. I'm very happy about this. This is what I've been waiting for a long, long time. You knew I would like it. You knew I would like it. And I do. I really do. I'm very happy about it. You will see a video of it on my channel probably next month. Probably next month. But enough about the alien, because that was kind of obvious, but that is the Roswell alien. Sweet. Sweet stuff. Okay, up next. Oh, 15% off. Up next, we have Lock, Shock, and Barrel. Now, one thing, I'm just going to make a blanket statement across the board for a majority of these HalloweenCostumes.com characters, is that the prices are steep. They're high. Across the board. All the prices are pretty high. And so that would be my biggest criticism for their lineup as a whole. Now, I know they're probably dealing with the tariff thing. They're dealing with, putting their foot in the water. Like, I mean, not just a foot, like a leg into the animatronic world, which I respect them for immensely. But these are very steep prices. But this is a 4-foot Nightmare Before Christmas Lock, Shock, and Barrel prop. There are the 3 characters. It is a reskin of those, the zombies or the ghosts that all kind of sync together. And so they sing their song. I have to talk over it or else, Danny Elfman will copyright me. But, I mean, they look like Lock, Shock, and Barrel. If you see Nightmare Before Christmas, that is what they look like. They look cute. They look cute. I mean, sure, they're not the most elaborate things. They're kind of hunks of plastic, and they move side to side. It's very simplistic animation. But I don't know of another way they would have done all 3 of these together for the time being. It's very astonishing that we've basically gotten every major Nightmare Before Christmas character, aside from the mayor, which I have a feeling is on the horizon, and Santa. Have they done the Santa yet? Because I feel like that would be kind of a necessity. Then they'll just start going down the line of the secondary and tertiary characters, like the Harlequin Demon, and I would love the Melting Man, or the Tree, or whatever. But we've gotten, Jack, Sally, Oogie Boogie, Zero, Dr. Finkelstein, now Lock, Shock, and Barrel. Pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. I'm glad that they exist. They did Santa Jack, but have they done the Santa? Like the actual Santa? I don't think they have. But that would be a cool one to get as well. Okay. This is another one that when I saw this, I absolutely did a backflip. And I went, you're kidding. They actually did this? This is an 11.5 foot tall Mothman. Like, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. Now, yeah, it's $500. I admit it's a big price, but look at it. That's insane. This is insanity. We are fully into the cryptids at this point. I don't know why the Roswell aliens are often not considered a cryptid, because they should be. The argument I've seen, just in a nutshell, I'm a cryptid fan, as a lot of people are apparently, which I didn't know this. But usually cryptids are from Earth, like not spiritual or extraterrestrial. Yet the Flatwoods Monster is a cryptid. Make it make sense. Because the Flatwoods Monster was definitely an alien. If it existed. It was definitely an alien. If aliens even exist. Who knows? Which, by the way, if we are going down the cryptid rabbit hole, could we get an 11.5 foot Flatwoods Monster? Now the door's open. And the real question on my mind, before we actually talk about Mothman here, because, I mean, I don't have to say much. I mean, it kind of sells itself. It's 11.5 foot Mothman. But what I will say is the question on everybody's lips ought to be, where's the Bigfoot? Where's the Sasquatch? Because the race is on. Whoever makes the Bigfoot, it will sell like hotcakes. I live in Florida. There are skunk ape and Bigfoot things and novelty areas for that kind of thing. I went to Wisconsin. They had Bigfoot ziplining that I did. Or I didn't do. I saw the Bigfoot stuff, though. You go to Georgia and there's Bigfoot stuff. Even though he's like a Midwest thing, every U.S. state claims Bigfoot. If you made a Bigfoot animatronic, it would sell to every state. And stores, and people would put it in their lawn. It would be insane. They need to make a Bigfoot. I know we got one years ago from Spirit. It needs to happen. Somebody needs to do it right now. Like, right now. Thank you, Boner Jams, by the way, for the donation. I appreciate you. As always. Boner Jam's always rolling up in the chat, so thank you. We could now get a new Wendigo. We could get a Skinwalker. We could get Flatwoods Monster. Now the floodgates are open, because this is going to sell really, really well. It just looks incredible, first of all. Super creepy. Yeah. Just so wild. Just so wild. Didn't expect it at all. Didn't expect it at all. Jersey Devil they could do. They could do the Loveland Frog people. The thing is, they also have to me, the question is, what ones will actually sell to a general public? Mothman was a good bet. I do think Wendigo we already have gotten, which is a safe bet. Bigfoot is the biggest safe bet. And I want to throw in our friend Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. I think it ought to happen. Okay? It ought to happen. Up next, another one, just banger after banger, it's insane, is the Ghostbusters Terror Dog. Now I have to adjust my my lamp a little bit, or my blinds a little bit, because it's getting a little dark outside. Thank you. We have gotten a Terror Dog before from Spirit, but it was online. I mean, this is online too. But it was kind of expensive. Not that this one isn't. It's still $400, but now that Spirit one is like $600 or something crazy. And this one's animated. Now, if you know me, Ghostbusters is amongst my like top 5 favorite movies of all time. I've seen it probably more than any other movie in existence. I love Ghostbusters, and I'm always ready for new Ghostbusters merch. You can follow Ghostbusters News. They're a great YouTube channel that gives all the drops of all this stuff, which is great. And the Terror Dog is such a great pick. Because what's funny is, despite how big of a property Ghostbusters has become, there aren't that many ghosts that I can point out. You have the librarian, you have Slimer, you have the Terror Dogs, you have the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, you have the taxi driver ghost, you have that one ghost that goes like that. I don't know what he's called, but he's in like literally like a few frames. And of course, you have one that I'm shocked has not been in animatronic yet, is Gozer. Technically, Gozer becomes the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but Gozer with the bubbles, the chick with the bubbles. I think that would be a great prop. Gozer would be awesome. But the Terror Dog is fantastic. I suppose you could make a Louis Tully and Dana Barrett if you really wanted to push it.
Okay, who brought the dog?
Again, I don't want to get copyright struck, but the Terror Dog looks really cool. Great detail work on it. It growls. I'm really gonna try to get my hands on this one too, and it has interchangeable horns, so it can either be Keymaster or Gatekeeper, Zool or Vince Clortho or whatever. But this is really sick. But it does come in stock mid-September. But I'm glad that we're getting the Ghostbusters core creatures. Really sweet. Yeah, don't lie, Mac. We all know this is an Emily situation. For the dog? Or for Gozer? Anyway, let's keep going. Okay. Yep. The Killer Klowns. The Killer Klowns. Now, I heard a rumor, I could be wrong about this, but apparently Spirit was offered these, and they turned Techie down. Talk about a fumble, because these look legit. Now, I thought Shorty was fine, but there's something slightly off about it. I always thought that. That's the reason I never got it, despite my massive fandom for the Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It's weird, because, so this was like, I don't know, probably more than 10 years ago, is I went into Movie Stop. Does anyone remember Movie Stop? And I bought Killer Klowns, never heard of it before, and it was not, I think it was like a cult classic movie, but it wasn't really talked about, and I watched it, and I loved it, and I watched it many, many times. And it wasn't really a big movie. There was no merch about it. It was very, like, forgotten. And then in the last few years, boom! Like, it's become a huge thing. Which is great to me, because more people get to enjoy this stuff. But it was kind of quaint for a time. It was cute. It was like in the cult classic thing. And I'm waiting for more movies that deserve it to just, like, the floodgates open and everyone realizes great movies. Like, there are so many I could list, but movies that have been lost to time that deserve their moment. Magic, go watch the movie Magic with Anthony Hopkins. He's a ventriloquist. Nobody talks about that movie. It's freaking fantastic. What other movie? I got some weird ones. The Stuff. If you like Killer Klowns, you would love The Stuff. It's about killer ice cream. Again, nobody talks about some of these movies. That was a side tangent. I'm sorry. That was a side tangent, because we're talking about Spikey and Rudy, which I was waiting for somebody to do the balloon dog gimmick, and they did. I thought they did it quite well. Great animation. I really like that. Now, it is steep. It's $400. That's expensive. That is expensive. It just depends on how big of a fan you are. Really, I love both of these. But out of all the clowns, I think Rudy has always been one of my favorite ones. Now, let's be real. When we're talking about ranking the clowns, these characters have no character development or anything. It's just based off of the gags they do in the movie and their visual appeal. And the poster that was on my DVD that I got back at Movie Stop. I believe had Rudy on it, and I like the scene where he goes into the store and does this little thing. I thought that's funny. So to get Rudy is really cool, and he's basically a reskin of the Exterminator from Techie with the popcorn gun. Just wild. Just wild that we got that. That's really cool. Yeah, I love it. And he looks like the accurate height, too. He was a little on the shorter side. Yeah, it should have been cheaper, though. Should have been cheaper. I will give you that. But these clowns are definitely... Like, I gotta admit, I was kind of disappointed with the Slim from Spirit. I kind of held that opinion back a little bit, because I do like Slim. He maybe has the best scene in the movie with the shadow sequence. I thought they would have done a better job, and I was kind of disappointed with it, and these are just a much better version. Which one, leave in the chat, which of these two do you prefer? Because I like, in my opinion, I like the balloon dog gimmick better with the Spikey, but I like Rudy's, like, design as a clown more. You let me know. Let me know in the comment. The Slim wasn't great. That's all I'll say. All right, we're getting through them, folks. I try to not have these live streams just drag on and on. I try to hit all the things I need to. Spirit got access to the Klowns IP, and they are milking it. I'm fine with it being milked a little bit, but some of this... I have a problem when the art style of something is kind of warped. Like, they did this a lot with Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas has a very, not grungy, but it has a very claymation, kind of early 90s aesthetic to it, and they just have kind of made it this very cutesy Disney thing now, and I don't like it. And with the Killer Klowns, too, they kind of made them these cute little funny cartoon characters, and I like... The whole point is that they look grotesque, and that's what's great about it. But yeah. Okay, up next is Celeste, the Restless Ghost Harp. Okay. There she is. Very eerie face. This is a $300 prop. I really like the ingenuity with this one. I do think it's a little expensive. I do think that the harp should have the strings on it. I do think the animation is a little funky with how it just kind of does this, but it's not the worst. I was trying to think of another way they could do it. Maybe it's just the positioning of the arms, like they're straight out. Maybe they should be a little more angled. And I really like the floating thing. It looks a little weird. It doesn't look as seamless as the Home Depot witch, but I will give them credit because it is cool. It's a neat ghost. I also maybe wish it didn't have the crying because it's clearly not crying. And it has the audio of crying. So maybe I would have adjusted that. But overall, it's a little overkill with the... Yeah, I would agree with the audio, but I think it's very different. This is what I'm talking about even from Spirit. Like, this is a very different... Like, overall, they had to make a new apparatus to make this thing work. And I like that. I like that they really tried. It's cool. Yeah, if she was at a distance... I think she would work better, like, if you had a cemetery display and had her, like, toward the back. I don't know why a harp's in the cemetery, but, you know, they did it in the Haunted Mansion, so whatever. But I think that would work. If you were really up close on her, I think it would lose a little of the charm, but I think you could pull this one off in a display. Yeah. The fact that it doesn't look like it's crying makes it creepier to me. Okay, that's fair. Now I'm pretty sure some of this stuff we've already sort of seen. Like this guy, the Ripsaw guy. I think we saw him before, did we not? When this was like a Wave 1 release. I do like it. I mean, it's obviously my kind of thing.
Meat for the beast.
Again, it's just kind of expensive. But I won't go fully into all that because we've talked about it. They are bringing back Broken Spine Girl, which is pretty exciting if you're a fan. They just have... Clearly, they're having a good partnership with Techie right now.
They're all gone.
And you're next!
But you already knew what she did. I thought there was another one they were bringing back as well. Oh, and Peekaboo Penny, funny enough. Peekaboo Penny. Never thought I'd see her again.
Trick or treat. Smell my feet. Uh-oh.
For $200, she's coming back. Okay, there's the Slimer, by the way. You can see some of the, like, kind of stuff that kind of creeps its way in. There's a Demigorgon, which we've already seen before. What else do I want to talk about? Well, I have some stuff I will get to. Let's look at this character real quick. This is the seated Scarecrow. Who does more of an arm swipe. Which I'll give you is a different kind of scare. I don't mind the look of the face. It's just not my preference. But like the skeletal face. But it's fine. It just... To me, it kind of loses the charm of the sitting Scarecrow. Because it was something that people actually did. People would dress up in a costume and then jump and scare people while they were getting candy. This one is definitely more prop-ish. But it's not necessarily bad. And it's $150, so... I mean, it only has one kind of animation, but it's on the cheaper side. We also have this, Arty the Clown. Which, I guess is something that's been in the... It's existed for, like 7 years, and people knew about it. And people were waiting 7 years, and I don't know why. Because it's just kind of a SVI-ish clown. Now, it is tall. I think the gag is funny. That, like, it's got red paint on it, but it's actually, like, you think it's bloody, but it's just got paint, or maybe the paint is blood. I'm not fully sure. It's a cute gag. But I don't really know if I'm crazy about it.
This time of year sure has the best colors. The orange pumpkins, the bright glowing moon, the dark shadowy corners, the blood on my brush. Oh, I mean paint. The paint on my brush.
Okay, yeah, so it kind of explains the joke. It kind of is verbose about it. I don't know. As if not a fan of the SVI clowns at this point, I can't really say there's anything too exciting about it. But if you like that kind of thing, sure. I just don't, other than for the gag, the visual gag, it's not very clownish. Because it's got a paint bucket. It's a little weird. It's a weird one. But yeah. Morris animatronic. Also, while we're talking about stuff that's kind of making a comeback, the Exterminator is back, but now called Alien Cleanup. And I gotta say, I love the design of this one way more than the Exterminator. Despite how much I love green stuff, I equally love the hazmat stuff. And this is a really cool way to bring this guy back. I think it looks very nice. There, that was the better video I wanted.
Caution! You have been advised. We should not be here. It's now too late. You had your chance to identify yourself. Exit now, or you could be in serious jeopardy.
The audio isn't really that good, but I love the look of it. It's very... It's everything I liked about the Exterminator, but with yellow, with the stains on it. I think this is a solid upgrade. I think it's a solid upgrade. I didn't like the audio of the original, to be fair, either. But yeah, if you got like any of the mutant props or the aliens in this guy, they would pair very nicely together. Up next, oh yeah, it's got the goofy noise. Up next, another one that's sort of making a comeback is the Torture Box Man. No longer a woman, so I guess you could have both. You know, equal opportunity torture. Put it that way. It's basically the same exact thing. The animation, I was never crazy about, but I like the idea of it. So if you like the woman, basically the same thing with the guy. I do think I like the woman a little bit more, but I do like the color of his outfit here. I do wish the animation on both was a bit better. But yeah, that is the Torture Box Man. 250, I think it should be 200, but that's just me. There's a Slimer. Let's do the... I didn't really talk about this. Brick Thunder has a partnership with them, and he designed this head Actor-matronic.
This is the dire dragon head. His eyes light up and glow red, and
Which I actually really appreciate Brick for bringing this kind of tech to the amateur circle. I think this is cool. I'm not really a dragon fan, but there's a lot of potential. Like, I think a shark would be great, or just any of the things you've seen at Transworld with this kind of technology. And for $350, that's pretty sweet. Maybe if the head was a bit bigger, too. It is a cool idea. I think they'll work the kinks out, but for this being the first time they've done this, I like it. I like that they're taking these swings. I really do. Okay, I want to get to... I think the spider is new. But it's just a big spider. It's awesome, though. It's completely awesome. I really do like that. And 250 is honestly not terrible for how large that is. That's a really impressive 8-foot spider. 8-foot spider. Demigorgon we've seen before. Wendigo we've seen before. Let's do the eye. I am very conflicted with the eyeball. Because, little known, maybe you don't know this about me, but I just like weird crap. So like an eyeball floating around or an eyeball monster is just really appealing to me. But I gotta admit, this could have been done a lot better. First of all, why is it 4.5 feet tall? That makes it look really silly. If this was really big, that could have hedged its bets. The eyeball is okay. It could add more detail on it. It just looks kind of goofy. And, like, look how short it is next to a person. I don't know. If anyone was in this thing's corner from the get-go, it was me. but I can't say I want it necessarily.
I see you.
That one's disappointing. I really wanted to like that one more, but yeah, it looks a little too kiddie. If it was really big and dominating and had this very like hyper realistic, very intense looking staring eye, maybe I would have gone, okay, I'm in. But and it, yeah, I'm not. I want to like it more. I really, really do. This is my encouragement is, could we please try the eyeball monster again and maybe have like an optical nerve going to a giant eye, like even if it's a static prop. I think it could be such a cool sci-fi thing. They just have to really hone in on it. The final major things to talk about are the Beetlejuice things. Now this Beetlejuice is basically the one from Jemmy, but it comes with the wedding outfit as well, which I think is...
See what shakes loose.
It's not as iconic, but it looks better.
You hit him right. I hit him myself.
What do we got here tonight, kids?
I think as someone who bought the Beetlejuice from Spirit, I really like the pose. It made it feel a little more dynamic, but Beetlejuice is just a hard character to get right. I don't feel like we've fully gotten what we could with Beetlejuice. I feel like if they did the servo stuff, that would be the best way to go. He's just a dynamic character, and like a character like Jason or Michael Myers is easier to do because they're just a dude in a mask and they just kind of stand around and they're creepy for that. But when you have like Freddy Krueger or Beetlejuice or even Chucky, harder to do because they're very dynamic characters. And I wish we could get a Beetlejuice that really is like, that's it. But yeah. My good friend Justin just sent me a text, aka the Pixelated Pumpkin, showing off. Oh, okay, so these are some. Is this from HalloweenCostumes.com? I don't know if you can see that, but they have like a poll about designs they're working on. I see a witch popping out of a cauldron and a really cool freak show clown in like a wife beater outfit. And then also a clown holding a baby clown and a werewolf transformation. Yes, he just said. Okay. Well, there you go. So leave a comment. Okay, it's in their new YouTube video. So make sure right now, everybody, go to their new YouTube video and let them know what you want. Do that right now. Well, do it after Hauntformer's stream. I'm just kidding. But seriously, go let them know what you think. I think the werewolf one is really sick. Do you see that? That is awesome. And I really also like this freak show clown with the wife beater. He looks really gross, and I love it. That's how clowns should be. So anyway, thank you, Justin, for shooting that my way. That is really sick. Okay. See, HalloweenCostumes is listening. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Finally, let's show off Adam and Barbara. Which, oh, the werewolf woman is birthing a werewolf. That's insane. That's sweet. I love it. I love when it get weird with it. It's Halloween, for Pete's sake. Okay, Adam and Barbara. Again, we're not on my bingo card this year, but these are really, really neat.
Well, why did you disappear when you stepped off the porch? Are we halfway to heaven? Are we halfway to hell? And how long is this going to last?
It is weird
there
that
wouldn't
she's
be dust on
talking
everything.
while in that pose, because they don't talk when they're really doing
2
this.
sheets? I feel so stupid. What's the good of being a ghost if you can't frighten people away? Hey, maybe we should try that beetle guy.
But, I mean, the look of it's great. I mean, I think it's basically the same mold as the hanging props from Spirit. These Adam and Barbara in the movie always really creeped me out. In fact, I remember going to Planet Hollywood. Does anyone remember Planet Hollywood? They had one at Disney Springs, which before was Downtown Disney in Orlando. And it was 3 stories of all movie props. And I remember on the top floor, they had the mask. I think it was the real one that was worn by, what's his name? The actor guy, Alec Baldwin in Beetlejuice. And it was this mask, and it always really freaked me out as a kid. That was like a childhood trauma thing. I do think I prefer, for that reason, and also the incredible hand animation, the Adam over the Barbara, but they're both very good. And honestly, they're better than any Beetlejuice we've gotten, sadly.
Troubled by the living? Is death the problem and not the solution? Unhappy with eternity? Having difficulty adjusting? Call Betelgeuse. We want to get rid of the people who have moved in here. Barbara and I worked very hard on this house. It's not stupid, Barbara. We're ghosts. Do you want to spend the next 125 years having breakfast with this woman? Moan louder. We're ghosts.
The hand animation is just really neat. Very, very cool. I do think they're a little steep in the price department. It looks like... Did they go down in price a little bit? Am I farting out? Maybe I'm getting confused with the Killer Klowns, but I thought they were $400 as well, but they're $350. Again, if they were maybe $250 even, I really think they have two animations each. So yeah, I mean, yeah, $250 maybe. They're just a little steep. They're $100 too much, but they do look pretty darn good. They do look pretty darn good. And they're great if you're doing a Beetlejuice display. I think you can't really go wrong with those. So I think that was everything I had on the roster to talk about. Just doing a look-see here. Looks like we pretty much covered all the stuff. Now, the difficult task is in the comments. Leave your favorite one. Which of these is your favorite of the props? Easily argue 150 is too much. You have to also factor in the current economic situation that these items find themselves in. Getting many props for under 150 is quite a challenge, and for those having 2 motors in them, I can see why they are the price that they are. Put it that way. I get it. I get it. So anyway, that is it. So leave in the comments right now your favorite of the HalloweenCostumes.com lineup. As for myself, I love the alien the best, because I'm me. I love the Mothman. I love the Terror Dog. I think both of the clowns are really cool, and the Adam and Barbara are really neat. I don't know if I'll get them, but I really like them. Torture Box Man is about on par with Torture Box Woman. And the Alien Cleanup is another one. Like, I liked Exterminator, so basically in the same capacity. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the HalloweenCostumes.com stuff. It seems like Mothman is the overall favorite, and I can't really argue with it. It's kind of awesome. It's kind of legit. It's crazy. But HalloweenCostumes.com, thank you for listening to the fans, and I hope that the other retailers will listen and see what is wanted and kind of act on that. I don't say this to, like, necessarily diss anybody. Not saying like, oh, Spirit sucks and I think they're terrible. They have the power to make the same stuff, if not better, than any other company. They all are eaten from the same cafeteria, put it that way. These are all Techie and SVI and Gemmy and all the rest. Just a matter of what they pick up and what they want to put in their stores. And right now, when you have an alien and a Mothman and the Terror Dog, that's going to sway me a lot, okay? It's going to sway me a lot. So as we wrap up this stream, what's next? Well, we wait. We wait for Spirit to play the rest of their hand and for Home Depot to put their hat in the ring. I know we've seen a lot of the Home Depot stuff, but I think even more is coming. So we have to kind of brace ourselves and prepare for what will be a very interesting and very eventful Halloween season. Unfortunately, with Party City being down, there are going to be less store tours this year because Party City made up a good chunk of them. But I still am planning to get a lot of store tours out. There are already 2 on the channel, so go check them out. And more will be coming. I'm waiting for Michaels to get their stuff in like a week. More stuff. But yeah. What do I think of the year overall? It's promising. I'm loving that maybe it took Home Depot pushing the envelope because they could afford to, because they're such a big company, to maybe get other retailers inspired. Because I don't think we ever would have gotten a Mothman before. Or even this Area 51 Roswell alien. It's really nice to see. I think the Nun was sadly beaten out by the Terror Dog and Spikey and Slim in terms of the... and even the Bride of Frankenstein from Home Depot. In terms of the licensed characters. Maybe there's even more that we haven't seen yet, which would be exciting. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting year. Very interesting year. Mac, who better? Hauntformer or Mac Straw? Oh, the Battle of the Macs. Well, guilty as charged, I suppose. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns maybe? If not, we're going to wrap the stream up shortly. Because look, we're almost at we're over an hour and a half now. You could have watched a full movie and you were here. And I thank you for it. I hope you enjoyed this stream. I will be putting timestamps so you can go back and see my opinions on all this different stuff. I appreciate your patience with the video uploads and the live streams. This is a very promising year. Do expect prop videos to be coming your way ever so soon. And I will see all of you in the next spooky bit of content, wherever that may be, whatever it may be. Because we're here for it, baby. Yeah. Man, I have to stop that. Alright, everybody. I'll see you in the next stream. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Spirit and HalloweenCostumes.com for making new stuff for me to talk about. It's always an exciting ride. And let me know your opinions. Like this stream and the chat will end, but there will be comments on the video. Please share your honest thoughts down there. And remember, for all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.